if you've already tried everything, getting enough sleep and exercising and eating well, and you're doing everything right, yet still feel tired, drained, and exhausted, well, there might be other places, less obvious ones, where your energy may be going, and we're gonna get to the bottom of this today, right now. Okay, first and foremost, remember all of those messages you still haven't replied to, and the trip you've been planning but never actually booked, or doctor's appointment that you're supposed to schedule a month ago, or a subscription that you keep meaning to cancel. Well, these are not just thoughts. These are decisions that you're avoiding and the loops that you're stuck in. And they don't just disappear from your mind. Additionally, avoiding is still mental effort, and delay is a tiny decision, which is also mental effort. Think of yourself as a computer, the one that has apps and tabs constantly running on the background. Well, what do you think happens to such a computer? Of course, all of those slow it down and drain its battery. And this is the exact same thing that is happening to you. And the one thing that we can do is to get them out of your head, right? To take them and put them somewhere else. Think paper or notes app on your phone. What you want to do is basically reduce load on your mind and make it clearer. Okay, second one. And this one is especially unfair, I think, because it is kind of built into the environment. And what do I mean by this? Imagine you're writing an essay for school, and you're texting a friend at the same time. And there's a podcast running on the background, and every single time your phone blips with a notification, what do? You pick it up. And it feels normal now, but actually it is extremely exhausting for our brain. What is actually happening is that your attention is being pulled in different directions by all this stimuli. And switching from one task to another is not free. It requires cognitive energy every single time your brain needs to reorient, Even if it feels like multitasking makes you more efficient, what is actually really happening is that your brain is paying for every single shift in attention. So what you can do is, you can try doing one thing without switching, ideally for a longer period of time, and then you will start noticing how different your energy feels. Okay, this leads us to the next point, and let me get straight into it. How much content do you consume every day? And really think about it. I don't mean to humiliate you, there's nothing to be ashamed of. It is unfortunately a very big part of our day-to-day functioning. Like YouTube, TV shows, podcasts, Netflix, HBO, Disney Plus, whatever there is, music, short-form content like TikTok or Instagram Reels. It's a constant flow of information all day long. And again, it also feels normal. It feels almost like a background. So you might think that your brain is dealing with a normal level of input, the kind it's supposed to handle in everyday life, But in reality, it is operating under a much, much higher load because it never gets a break from all of the stimulation. You can be getting 9 hours of sleep and training and eating clean and taking perfect care of your physical health. But when your brain is constantly stimulated by all kinds of content every 30 seconds or so, does it have a chance to rest? Poor thing never gets silence. And without silence, there's no recovery. So no, watching YouTube for 3 hours straight is not rest. Okay? And I think this part really uncovers a bigger issue here, because it's not about where your energy goes, but whether your brain gets the rest that it needs in the first place. The next one that we're going to talk about is an external type of leakage. And this one I think is kind of especially sensitive because it often happens to really kind and open people who are really willing to help others. And now I want you to honestly reflect for a moment, like really give yourself some time and space for it. How available are you to other people? Do you respond immediately, even if it's not the right time? Do you automatically say yes to someone if they want something from you? Do you constantly adjust your time, your plans, and your focus around other people's needs? And I know that it doesn't feel like much in the moment. And I know that we all want to be good people, good friends, good colleagues, good partners. But every time you interrupt yourself for others, you lose a bit of your own energy. And it is not about becoming distant or selfish or whatever. Giving others your energy is okay, it's completely normal. This is how the relationships are built. The question is not whether you're giving the energy, but whether if you're stepping over yourself while doing it. It just slowly drains your capacity, and taking care of your own energy is not selfish. It is actually your responsibility. Speaking of giving energy to others, with how much time do we spend on the internet nowadays, just ask yourself, do we really need to know all the drama with the Kardashians or whatever? Do we really need to follow in every new brand and influencer launches? Or do we need to deep dive into some random celebrities' dating life? It's also about people from your real life that you barely even know anymore. I mean, do you really need to know how every single one of your classmates from high school is doing years later and constantly talk about it? I don't think so. You don't need to know details about people who don't even know you exist, and you don't need to emotionally invest in people who don't have a real impact on your life. And I want to make it really clear that I'm not against gossiping. Gossiping is normal. This is a big part of how we connect. But there is a difference between occasional social curiosity and letting other people occupy your attention constantly. At this point, you're not just keeping up with people. You're giving away your time, your energy, and your attention that could actually go into your own life and strengthen your relationship and your connection with yourself and with people who actually matter to you. Okay, now it's time to change tone a bit. You might have been, or you are, in a situation in your life when you already know the right answer, but you keep spending more time thinking, taking more advice, and just draining your energy. You might have a friend that you don't feel like you have enough in common anymore, but you keep pretending that connection is still the same. Or you chose a path, you got a degree, and realize that it's not for you, but you keep going because you already invested so much, even though you know that it's not what you want to do. Or it's a relationship where deep down you know that it's not a good fit, but it's easier to stay than to face the truth, and you stay out of habit, not out of a connection. And part of you already knows what you want, knows what's right for you, and another part is still holding on to a safer version of reality. Now, can you imagine how that kind of split is exhausting? Because you can't fully lie to yourself, so the conflict doesn't disappear. It stays there and it costs energy every single day. And a lot of the time it shows up as overthinking, distraction, waiting for the right moment, collecting even more opinions. Undermath of all that is the decision already exists. So go and drag it out of there. To sum up, your energy isn't gone. It is just being used in the wrong places, and now you know where to look. So if anything resonated with you, feel free to share your thoughts, and see you in a bit.